Hello, everybody. We start off on mute, but we are going to be talking together. So if you can go ahead and unmute yourself. In the bottom left, there's that little microphone. Just go ahead and unmute yourself so that we can share some ideas. This is the Better Together event, and so we really wanted to open up some space to give you an opportunity to share ideas. I'm just going to ask some questions to get the ball rolling and then really let you take it from there. I'm just going to be the moderator, the facilitator, and let you share out your great ideas, the things that are successful or that are challenging for you. So to get started, let's start on the bright side. Let's talk about some things regarding technology, some successes that you've had using technology to adapt to some of the challenges that we're facing. So whoever has something that pops to mind, go ahead and just share that out. What are some of the successes? Go ahead, Sonia.
Actually, I found a success or something really positive in my being able to meet one-on-one with the teachers or in small groups with the teachers and getting information to them in a more individualized manner, as also me being able to pop into the classrooms and visit virtually. And sometimes like what I couldn't do physically, I had been able to do virtually with the technology.
What platform are you using?
At the school, we have to use Google Meets.
Google Meets, okay, and that's successful for you. Outstanding. Anybody else? Miles.
Yep, so I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan with the Potter's House, and we've been utilizing a range of Chromebooks and iPads in order to provide remote learning, synchronous remote learning. So we've been open for the last this is our 6th week in person, but we wanted to provide a synchronous in real time remote learning option for any families who might be at a higher risk. So that's been working really well. And we have a Google Suite and are fully one-to-one at the high school, and we're working towards being one-to-one at the K-8 building.
So you have it set up so that if students are learning from home, they just sort of meet in with the class, they zoom in with the class?
Yeah. Yeah, so because of the risk of, in total, a kid could possibly be quarantined, for up to 24 days if, they live in a household with someone who tested positive 10 days, and then they have to quarantine for an additional 14. So we just figured kids are going to be in and out of the classroom for a long period of time, district-wide, so we made sure that we can provide that.
That's interesting.
She's not able to use her microphone right now, but she did share that she's using G Suite. It's been great to work on new ways of organizing information, finding new ways to collaborate, videos, sharing docs, sharing slides. The G Suite is so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Danielle, are you using that as well?
Yeah, just kind of piggyback. I think we're all kind of in the same boat, which is exciting to hear because we're all in different areas, and I'm coming to you from Wisconsin. And we are doing kind of that blended learning. So those folks that want to have their kids at home, we do have the virtual option. We're in person 4 days a week, and then Wednesdays are all virtual days so that we can give the teachers some time to prepare lessons. And it's hard to teach face-to-face and virtually, so keeping up with those kiddos. So as Sonia said, it's been fun working one-on-one with them and then getting them the things that they need, because I feel like that's part of my servant leadership. But what was kind of a revelation when I did some walkthroughs last week, the end of last week, I went in and saw some teachers, and they had, of course, I kind of feel like, dot cameras are obsolete, right? Why are we still using them? But oh my gosh, what a fact. They were able to use the dot camera to do some of the work in their small group, but then they shared their screen with their laptop and had their kiddos that were at home right in the small group with them. So those students were all interacting with one another, those on the screen at home and those in the small group, and the teacher was right there doing that in-time learning and asking those real-time questions. So that was so cool to see, and I think we've come a long way since last spring. So I have a teacher that uses grapple and grow all the time, and that's what we're doing. We're grappling, but we're growing, and that was just super exciting to see.
About the document camera, maybe not something that people think of right away, but something that really can facilitate some collaboration, some interaction, even at a distance. That's cool. Any other great tech successes that we've experienced, or some tools that you or your staff have used?
They have the smart boards, they have the Chromebooks, they have the iPads, they have the dot cams. I mean, they've been able to make, make classrooms. Oh, and the way they position the cameras in a specific way, or the smart board in a specific way, so they can interact with both the students in the classroom and on the screen. It's like, it's
Amazing.
really something that you think to yourself, this kind of thing didn't happen 15 years ago. Nope.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you imagine what would have happened if this had been 15 or 20 or 25 years ago? Just completely different world that we live in now. And it's great to be able to take advantage of some of those things.
We
How
have to
about-
eat lunch in
go
our
ahead.
classroom. We have to eat lunch in our classrooms. And so the kiddos that are at home, some of them will Zoom in during lunch. So they'll eat lunch with the kids. And so you see them walking past the laptop and they're waving at them going, hi, what are you having for lunch? And they're, it's really cute. Yeah.
I'm Temple. I work with Ben. I'm scribing today. So, but I was just curious, because those are the successes. Have you had any failures? Have you had anything that worked and just didn't?
How about when the whole system crashes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
The very beginning, like, it was so much that the system, like, literally, it was like, nothing is working. We're like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we're facing is just teachers are exhausted.
they're tired. It's very tiring.
Because there's,
Yeah.
especially at the elementary level, when there's so many things that you want to do with handwriting, it's like you got to prepare all that stuff a week ahead of time, so you're kind of double prepping.
For sure.
So we're really just trying to navigate ways of teacher, advocating for teacher appreciation and different ways of lifting their spirits. We have a great team. It's just they're visiting homes and handing papers, in the mailboxes, and they're just going above and beyond. So that's
What are some ways that you're, sorry, Ben, what are some ways that you're celebrating the teachers? I'm just curious. Like, what are you, fostering that teacher appreciation?
Well, one of the ways, like today at like 1:30, they gather together just kind of for some chocolate, because that always helps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're reevaluating our PD, our professional development days, giving one day off, and then maybe have a community development day where we just kind of like get to know each other and have some fun together. And just kind of trying to give them things.
Teachers love
that's so
things.
important.
Look. They gave them these.
Oh, cool.
They gave them this one plus the mask, but I left my mask at home. It says,
Clever.
We're just
Love it.
and the mask too. Plus they gave them like like you said, you have to motivate them. We gave them like a bag that says, you are the right, you're right, you are the right, WRIT, the right person for this job. We appreciate you. And it had, the essentials, pencils, pens, highlighters, all sorts of, like, we call it a teacher goodie bag, but also things to have for those students that did come back, because now we're going to go on our second week of coming back, those that chose to come back, because the majority are virtual, but those that are in class, well, so the teacher has things plus all the plexiglass and everything else that was put into place for protection of the teachers, plus the hand sanitizers. We've tried to prepare everything, and it's been like exhausting making sure that there's hand sanitizers and the wipes and the arrows and the dividers and shoo. But we're doing it for the teachers, but we know also that the teachers are still exhausted. And when she mentioned that they had one day off, I'm like, don't let our teachers hear that, please. I mean, if we could, like, I'm pretty sure my other coworker that just spoke there, if they could have, one day at least for planning,
Yep.
it would be a breather. Like, it's because it really drains you. It really drains you.
It does.
Great question.
We've been
What
doing
additional?
some self-care stuff too. Yeah. We just had yoga this morning, so anybody who wanted to sign up for yoga could do
Oh,
that.
that's nice.
Yeah, and then
That's
I have
important.
I just had a staff meeting, and our bank donated. We have Bosco bucks, so you go downtown and you can use like you know, Bosco bucks to buy stuff. And so the bank gave us some $5 coupons. And so I did a raffle. So in between messages, I would draw a name and then they would get, you know, those things. And I think they were really excited. So I might pick up some Subway cards and other things like that and just keep doing a raffle with those pieces. But like Christine said, food, oh my gosh, yes. Anytime you give them food, it's good.
What other sorts of supports do you wish you could provide to them, or are you looking to provide for your teachers as they adapt to this world?
More staffing.
Yeah.
Is that all?
I mean, ideally, we'd hire a remote learning coordinator for each grade level. We do mixed grades, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just to have someone who can just focus on the remote learners, that would be. But like any budget, you know, that's the biggest expense is payroll. So
if we could put a para in every classroom so that there was another adult in the room that, like, if the teacher had to step out, somebody could take their class for them or just kind of just help with something, I think, you know, that would be, but like you said, it's a cost issue, unfortunately.
In terms of resources, curriculum, professional development, training supports that they need?
yeah, I think best practices when it comes to organizing online classes, you know, it's kind of, you know, when you go through your master's, you go through a lot of different, you know, experiences with different professors and get a wide variety of quality. And so to get like the teachers to have kind of see like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and like try to make theirs the good, you know, that's the ideal. So I think that'd be helpful.
Very few of us were really prepared or trained for this kind of, you know, remote learning, hybrid learning environments. It's all new and different, and getting some support there is super helpful.
Especially those skills of them keeping the students that are virtual. It's not the same as keeping a student engaged when you're face to face, because you can do lots of different things, even though now they are restricted because of the distance, but it's harder to maintain that, you know, engagement when any other distraction, you know, can arise. And sometimes the teachers, they can get frustrated because they're watching these, but they can't lose those, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of strategies
in the virtual world, yeah. That's tough. How about you, Danelle? Any other supports that your teachers could use? Skills that could develop?
I think I'm an elementary principal, but I'm also helping with some other pieces of the middle school, high school. I think taking some of the old school pieces, if you will, and being able to transport them into the new school. So if they're used to paper, pencil, or they've got a specific worksheet that they use, how do you get that into Google Classroom, and how do you get that as like a PDF filler, or how do you help the kids with things that you already have? Because you don't want to reinvent the wheel and reinvent everything that you already have done and spent time on. So I think for some folks, it's how do I get this transferred into this so that I can just push it out to kids.
Adapting your great practices to, you know, kind of this tech-fueled world.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, but we also need to teach we have to infuse not only in those that are in the classroom, but those that are at home, what we're teaching them now we have to infuse into them those real life skills of what's happening now, and how what they're learning they can use, like not only within the school, but in the real world. So those real life skills, and like I always tell my the soft skills, you know, they need to focus on the soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they go out to the working world, they're like, huh? And through the technology, hopefully we could start helping to build some of those soft skills so that they can connect what they're learning in school with what they're going to be needing when they go out into real life, you know, real world jobs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Things like flexibility and adaptability, those are important soft skills that are going to be really relevant, and those are things that they're definitely
clear
definitely have to practice now.
Yep. So
outstanding. Any other challenges that you and your staff are facing, or challenges you have faced, and ways that you have overcome them?
Oh, that's 59 seconds. I think it's a learning curve.
I think with screen time, that's been a big concern of ours in terms of like just getting kids how to structure a class that's not fully dependent on screens, just for their overall,
And doing this whole
capacity.
distance learning thing in a way that's not excessively screeny, right?
Mhm.
That's a
Mhm.
great challenge. Yeah. We do have 30 seconds left. Any last thoughts?
Well,
Well, great conversation. I hope that you got some ideas. Maybe you want kids to connect over lunch, or maybe you have a new way to use your document cameras. Just wanted to give an opportunity to share some best practice. It was great to get to know you a little bit. I hope you enjoyed connecting with each other and sharing some of your ideas. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We were a small but mighty group. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.